This is Alicia Lannis. She died of a heroin overdose at the age of 19. Alicia was a victim of the Centerville heroin ring, made up of more than 50 teens and young adults in Fairfax County, which accounted for 4 deaths, led to 16 convictions, and many more non-fatal overdoses.
I would venture to say if you asked the average Fairfax County citizen what a heroin addict looked like, their response, the majority of the responses would be somebody who looked disheveled, homeless, or living in a seedy hotel. In this case, it was not the fact. They were basically straight-A students, excelled in high school sports, and they all became addicted on heroin, and you'd have never known it.
Alicia's death has thrown a spotlight on the heroin epidemic that is sweeping across middle-class neighborhoods in Northern Virginia. Lieutenant Dave Russell is the Assistant Commander of the Organized Crime and Narcotics Unit for the Fairfax County Police Department. He talked to us about the uniqueness of this case, which saw more than 50 teens and young adults involved.
And as you can see for yourself, these are very, very nice houses, and it seems to be very, very nice neighborhoods. Not where you'd find the typical heroin addict.
Many from the heroin ring were from nice families and good neighborhoods, which makes it hard for some to comprehend 4 heroin overdose deaths and at least a dozen more non-fatal overdoses involving young people between 16 and 22 years of age.
But they were actually giving out free samples of heroin to these kids, which I'm sure some of them took and immediately became addicted to. It was the perfect storm. So many kids got wrapped up into this, and nobody saw it coming because they didn't know what was coming, but when it happened, devastating to this community.
Looking out this window is Greg Lannis, father of Alicia Lannis.
This is the window that I saw them carrying my daughter out in a body bag. I'll never forget that image.
Alicia overdosed on heroin multiple times starting in 2007, with a fatal overdose in 2008, leaving a painful void in Greg and Donna, Alicia's mother's, life. Alicia was a cheerleader and finished high school with 18 advanced placement college credits.
Well, her interest, it kind of changed going through high school, but after high school she wanted to get into the medical field. She actually wanted to become a doctor. I decided to play golf late in high school, and I said, you can't make the golf team. You haven't practiced, you haven't played. And she did and made the team. I was really proud of her for that.
With the heroin epidemic sweeping Northern Virginia, baffling many with its insidious tentacles grabbing hold of young people, another 38 high school students and young adults in the neighboring Prince William County were arrested on heroin charges just recently.
Absolutely. The first time that we had known anything, she had overdosed in August of 2007, in the summer. It was devastating to us. I mean, that would be the last thing that we would have ever thought would happen. Her to be involved with, taking a drug like that.
Greg said that Alicia suffered from anxiety for years. She would have panic attacks in public places and would suffer acutely in the evenings. It was in her senior year of high school when she met Skylar Schnippel, pictured here on Halloween, who would become her boyfriend.
He had talked to her into trying heroin to make her feel better because of her anxiety attacks. We even took him on vacation with us. And little did we know what we had under our roof.
Despite Alicia ODing twice before and going to counseling and rehab, as well as her parents adamantly keeping Skylar and her apart, Skylar continued to give her heroin. He is now in prison, sentenced to 20 years for his part in the heroin ring.
Through the trials, what we have found out that it is almost reaching a pandemic situation in our community and in Northern Virginia.
16 in all were convicted with sentences up to 26 years. One of the co-conspirators in the heroin ring admitted to distributing over 300,000 bags of heroin in the last year and a half. Now Greg and Donna are trying to raise awareness.
There's a kind of a code of silence when people who have somebody that's experienced an overdose. There's a silence that nobody talks about. And we're breaking that silence.
Okay. All right.
It's because Greg and Donna don't want another family to experience what they've gone through that they're sharing their story, as well as meeting with other families to create support groups.
One of the heartbreaking things of my daughter's case and the Centerville heroin ring was it has left a devastation in its wake with addicted young people in our community.
Greg is adamant that neighbors need to come together to stop this epidemic from wrecking communities, families, and children's lives.
We need to touch base with our own neighbors, our only family members, and break that silence. Talk to them. Help each other. It takes a community to raise children.
Greg and Donna don't want Alicia to be just another statistic.